What is your accidentally caught your spouse cheating horror story? A friend of mine literally walked in on his wife and another guy doing it on their sofa. I guess he just yelled what the fuck and ran out. Facebook was a real shit show for a few days, and she even had the gall to blame him back. The "all it's your fault I cheated." Luckily there were no children in that marriage and not much money to fight over. My ex-wife was an alcoholic. Like, bad alcoholic. One time I get home from my night shift a little early, and you guessed it, she was drunk. Well, I was horny, and she's usually drunk when we fuck anyway, so what the hell, I came on to her. So, we're fucking and it's dark and she says, "You need to hurry up," so I ask, why he's going to be home soon. Who, my husband, you fucking idiot, yeah? So, I pull out and hop out of the bed and flip on the light, and this bitch looks absolutely baffled. She's shit-faced drunk, and totally dumbfounded. I ask her, "Who did you think was fucking you? What? Who did you think was fucking you? What are you talking about? Never mind. I'll talk to you about it in the morning. I'm not drunk." Yeah, she didn't even know what the fuck I was on about. So, I go to bed on the couch, and I'm sitting there going over shit in my head, and I hear her come down the stairs. She goes into the kitchen and I hear a drawer shut. A few seconds later, she's standing over me with a fucking knife. I promptly take the knife from her. Tell her to go to bed, which she obliges without saying a single word. I grab the kids and put them in the car, and drive to my mom's house where we spend the night. She starts blowing up my phone at 10 AM, frantic that she doesn't know where the kids are. We have a mini intervention. She promises to go to AA. I attempt to erase the entire night from my memory, which didn't work obviously. About a month later she hasn't held up to her AA agreement, and has pretty much gone back to her old ways. I come home from work, and I see a fucking LA Dodgers hat on my couch. Who was over? I ask. Nobody. Are you sure? Yeah. Don't fucking bullshit me. Who was over here? Are you calling me a fucking liar? Yeah. I am. Because someone left their fucking hat on my fucking couch. At this point she concocts some stupid story about a neighbor coming to borrow something. I knew she was lying. At this point I had pretty much given up on the marriage, but didn't know what to do. I was afraid that if I divorced her she'd somehow get the kids. A lot more fucked up shit happens over the next month or so, including her making up a story about Mexicans jumping her, my neighbor calling CPS, me catching her actually kiss a guy, 2 potheads admitting to having a threesome with her. Then one day in July of 2008 I asked her to have a seat. I told her that I was filing for divorce. She put up a fight, but I won full custody of my kids. I started dating again, and have been with my new wife for 9 years now. The end. Edit. Please note that she did recognize me, and was receptive, when we started. Drunk sex was the norm for her. I wasn't being a creep. Had been on the road for work. Was supposed to be 10 days. Got to go home a day early. Had a friend pick me up at the airport to surprise my wife and 2 children, 2 years and 8 months. Walked into my ex and her coffee friend snuggling on the couch. With my kids in the same room. I was livid. Of course she denied everything. We split up weeks later. I got a new job with a cell phone company. Free phone for me, $15 a month for her. First bill comes in with call detail. She was on the phone an hour a day with this number while supposedly at work. I call. Dude answers. I hang up. I ask her. She lies and said it was a gal pal of hers. I told her I know she is lying and call it again. Dude answers. Fuck you, Brooke. After a night of trying to keep up with my ex and her co-workers drinking, I call it a night. They stopped talking a few minutes later and the dog scratched at the door. I let the dog in and saw them making out on the couch. I watched for 10 minutes before they noticed me. They were taking their clothes off by then, and he was touching her favorite spots like he knew them well. No denying it by then. I am glad I knew. A tense conversation followed with the 2 of them. He left, very drunk on a very cold night. She got a ride to her aunt's place and begged me to go look for him in the cold. This just happened 2 days ago. I was in Florida on vacation with my girlfriend of 6 years, our 4-year-old son, and her family and a few of her friends. She had been taking pictures down at the beach all afternoon on her phone. We got back to the house we were staying at and everyone was in the kitchen making dinner. I picked up her phone and opened it up to text my family the pictures she had taken. As I'm scrolling for the thread, I see her ex-boyfriend's name. Open up the messages and first thing there are videos of them masturbating they had sent to each other. I yelled, "What the fuck is this?" Her mom turned toward me and asked what was wrong and I loudly proclaimed what I'd seen. She said that she had gone out with some friends, gotten drunk, invited him out for a drink, and ended up blowing coke all night. Then said she got blackout drunk the next night and sent the videos. Claimed that was the only time she'd seen him. Yeah, so when she fell asleep of course I went through her phone again. She'd seen him multiple times throughout the previous 2 months, and I found pictures of them together posing like a cutesy couple on their dates. Her brother and dad were pissed. I got the fuck out of there the next morning. Ruined the vacation for pretty much everyone, and totally wrecked our family. One night she told me not to come over because she wasn't feeling well. But then my sister wanted this hoodie back that she'd borrowed, so I thought I'd stop over with chocolate and a Slurpee. I knocked on her door. She came to the upstairs window with only a blanket wrapped around her. I thought I told you not to come over, my sister needs her hoodie. Who's that, says some male voice from her bedroom. Ah. I see how it is, I'll talk to you tomorrow, she says. Probably not. Have a good one. Christmas Eve I went into the computer to find a photo for a last minute gift, an ornament with a family photo I did for her as a tradition every year. Instead found a love letter from some guy at the gym to her. Then kept looking and found tons more. Over the next year, it just got worse and worse to a point you'd never believe. Gosh, that was a fun Christmas for me and our young children. Not me, my dad : he told me the story a few years back. So, some of my mom's family were visiting from out of town and they had planned a night at the bingo, which my dad couldn't attend because he was working 6 PM to 2 AM. He finished work early and on his way home, saw my babysitter on the street. "You are not with my child, no. Your wife called me at around 8 PM, saying she wasn't feeling well and that she would stay home." My dad drove home, tried the front door. Locked, no lights. He entered the house by the basement door. Went up the stairs. Heard them, a few feet away. My mom. And her cousin 2 years later. He almost left her, with me in tow, but stayed so I could have a normal life. Most of the time, I wish he'd left, because he wouldn't have worked 90-100 a week to avoid being home, and could have been happier. For those who are wondering, my mom had a long time affair with her cousin, starting before she met my dad. She wasn't happy either, I think, but my dad was a good catch. Yes, I'm sure he is my dad, we look so much the same. Yes, they are still together, and after a year of being angry, I decided to let go, because their relationship has nothing to do with me. Just sad for both of them. Using an alt account because duh. Wife had been texting a lot and was very evasive when I inquired about it, though she smirked when she thought it was making me jealous. Yeah, she's that kind of person. Turns out she'd left her email logged into my cell phone. So I noticed that she had a weekend Airbnb trip to a place that was a state away. We were living in different states at the time. That seemed to be of the quiet romantic getaway type. Total occupancy. 2. Well, I thought that was fairly suspicious. So, I monitored her Airbnb page, which was easy since we were friends on Airbnb, figuring that the owner might leave a comment about how great she was as a guest. Which it turned out, she did. Except the review went something like, "Wife's name," and "Guy not named me, were wonderful guests," and so on. Yeah, so, anyone want to guess what the conditional probability is of that weekend trip involving infidelity? Pretty sure it's high. Wife apparently panicked, asked Airbnb to remove the review, altered her name on the site, and then finally, having failed to get the review taken down, deleted her account. I eventually asked her about it during a counseling session and she had a ready-made defense about how she'd meant to take the trip with another co-worker, but that person's car broke down, so guy's name ended up tagging along since guy's name was that co-worker's boyfriend, and they all stayed there together, but guy's name signed the guest book. Hence a totally honest mistake. In hindsight, I am pretty sure she was not telling the truth. We are not still married. Thank you for watching. I hope you never end up in any situations like these. If you've had any experiences like these, I hope you keep your head up high and take care of yourself. You are loved. If you liked or hated the video, give it a thumb of some sort. Remember to subscribe to okpjdark for more Ask Reddit videos every single day. See you tomorrow.